Ways to make yourself more productive. The story is from Time. I'm Eric Burr. You're listening to Newsbeat Radio. Ever needed to be productive, but you just don't feel like it, and you literally end up negotiating with yourself in order to get things done? I end up there all the time. So I wondered, what's the best way for me to convince me to be more productive? What's the best way to use the science of persuasion on myself? I knew the answer was a bit beyond my pay grade, so I called an expert. Robert Cialdini is the undisputed heavyweight champion of persuasion. He's a professor of psychology at Arizona State University and author of the #1 book on influence, aptly titled Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. When we want to get others to see things our way, we spend the majority of time crafting logical arguments and collecting convincing evidence to present to them. And Bob says that's dead wrong. In his new book, Persuasion, Bob explains that we need to take a 25-year-old tip from good old Sun Tzu. Every battle is won before it is fought. What we do before we try to persuade is often more critical to whether or not we are successful. The best persuaders become the best through persuasion, the process of arranging for recipients to be receptive to a message before they encounter it. So if you're going to persuade yourself to get more done, you need to think about what you do in advance of starting the task. Talking yourself into doing anything can be tricky because, well, you know what you're planning. So perhaps we should get started by convincing your unconscious mind to help you out. So you're actually getting some solid work done. You're pleased with yourself, but you're also a little afraid that tomorrow you'll start procrastinating all over again. There's a good way to make sure that doesn't happen. Leverage the Zeigarnik effect. Luckily, you don't have to be able to pronounce it in order to do that. The Zeigarnik effect is a psychological principle that says our brains seek closure. Your unconscious mind wants to feel like you finished something. Otherwise, it will keep thinking about the task long after you've left the office. Well, Bob told me a story about a colleague of his who uses those nagging thoughts to her advantage to prevent procrastination. When she's writing and the end of the workday approaches, she stops mid-sentence. That way her brain is dying to finish that thought. And when she gets to her desk the next day, she's thankful to be able to complete what she started. Here's what Bob says. The next day, she can't wait to get back to her chair and begin writing again so that she can complete the thought. Now she's in the flow again of writing, and she winds up being especially productive. So take a lesson from those cliffhangers at the end of television episodes. They keep you tuned in for a reason. Your brain wants closure. Don't let it have it. So you know how to turn one productive day into a productive week. But how do you get going in the first place? All it takes is a few magic words. Ever wish you could just program yourself like a computer to do the right thing? Well, we can't upload Kung Fu into your brain, Neo, but we've got the next best thing. Before it's time to accomplish something, create a clear goal statement that includes the place or time something needs to be done and the thing you have to do. Just use the magic words, if, when, and then. When I first sat at my desk this morning, then I will begin the report I have to write. If my uncle starts another political argument, then I will hide in the bathroom. There's a study of epilepsy sufferers who were having trouble being regular with their medication regimen. They were given an if, when, then statement to make, such as, if it's 8 o'clock in the morning and I've finished brushing my teeth, then I will take my prescribed medication. That statement increased compliance with the regimen from 55% to 79%. The key is to be specific about the place and time that serves as a cue for you to take the step that you want to take. So keep in mind, if Eric writes a blog post, then I will read it to the very end and thank him profusely. So you've got an if-then, and you're not giving yourself closure. You're programmed to get to work, and your unconscious mind will make sure you pick up where you left off tomorrow. But what if you still just ain't feeling it? Then you're going to need the inspiration that can only come from bright yellow squares. Of course you have. Ever scoffed at one? Probably. Ever viciously mocked one, then set it on fire? Okay, maybe that's just me then. Well, those trite displays of utter tastelessness actually work. When you see inspirational pictures like that before you get cranking, you really are more productive. Here's what Bob says. There's a lovely study that showed that if call center workers are shown a picture of a runner winning a race, they collected 60% more donations because the concept of achievement was in their attentional environment. They would see it constantly while they were doing this task. No, I'm not here to ruin your office decor. You can get the same effect by scribbling achieve on a Post-it note and putting it where you can see it. Multiple studies have shown that subtly exposing individuals to words that connote achievement, win, attain, succeed, master, increases their performance on an assigned task and more than doubles their willingness to keep working at it. So a Post-it note can inspire you to get those tough tasks done and help us all win the war against bad art. But what if that isn't enough? Want inspiration that's personalized for you and is proven to bring out your best work? Doctors don't always wash their hands before they see patients. Hospitals try to get them to do better about it.